Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Let's talk about brush cleaning. We have had a bit of a, forgive the lazy rhyme, we have had a little bit of a brush rush in the past, 2 weeks or so. We had huge sales and new releases from Refer. Then we had a big new release, and it had been a while, from Wayne Goss, a very pricey but beautiful one. Then, bam, BK Beauty came out with a new collaboration, and they are synthetic, but amazing. And then, of course, Sonia G. And I hear from many that Sonia G is also going to have a holiday brush release. We've got other holiday releases coming out. I mean, we are just having, all of a sudden, we're really bombarded with brushes. Another little lazy play on words. We have so many, and everyone's saying to me, how do you clean them? So forever ago, I did a brush cleaning video, but let's update it because I've added a few more products to my arsenal as well, and I want to talk about it. Now, this might not be, if you are a brush connoisseur, this might not be how you clean your brushes. We are a community. Make sure that you list below how you clean yours, what you like to do. There's a lot of different ways to clean a brush. So I'm glad to have you here. Don't forget that you can also come and say a big hello to me over on TikTok, Instagram, and on Threads. Let's get started here. I am going to show you the way I clean my brushes, period. I do not clean synthetic any differently than I clean my natural hair brushes. And I clean the natural hair brushes very carefully. So I figure it can't hurt to treat the synthetic brushes carefully as well, right? And I have more natural hair brushes anyway. First of all, what I do is I have a little cup, and in that little cup, after I use a brush, I put it in there. Okay, now I do have to clean my brushes more than you have to. The reason I say that is I'm constantly going on camera with them, and I don't want to go on camera with dirty brushes. First of all, it just looks yucky. And second of all, it does call into question whether or not we're getting a pure color on an eyeshadow or a blush, right? If there's already product on the brush. So I do clean mine a little more often. How often are you really supposed to clean your brushes? Once every few weeks is actually fine. First of all, let me show you all of the dirty ones I currently have. I'll put up a little video of that. That is only because that's more than I normally have. Usually when the cup, I throw them in a little cup, and when the cup fills, it's time to wash, but it got out of control because we've had so many new brush releases and I needed to use all of them. So that is all of them that I had to clean. Normally, if it's a brush I'm not using on camera, there's a few things that you can do for these brushes, okay? One of them is a microfiber towel. Now I'm holding up the Sonia G microfiber towel, and I just used that the other day, which is why it's got some product on it. Usually if you just brush off your brush on a microfiber towel, you will get enough of the product off that it won't transfer to the next product you're using, and it will save you from wetting your brushes. If you do not have one of these gorgeous Sonia G microfiber towels, and I don't think they're available anymore, she might re-release them. But if you don't, and these were pricey and they are quite, beautiful, of course, hey, you can get a pack of them, and honestly, I'll link it below. You can get a pack of them for like $6, $7 US on Amazon, or wherever your country is on Amazon. And any microfiber towel will do, honestly. Just take your dry brush and go like that against it. Just make sure it's nice and soft. Everything I'm talking about here will be linked down below for your purchasing pleasure, along with information on how you can donate to this channel and how you can join our channel private membership here on YouTube. We have weekly gossipy lives that we would love to see you at. So all that info will be down there. Here's the Sonia one. If I do find any, I'll link them, but I have a feeling you might as well just go on Amazon or your version of Amazon, whatever, and get yourself some just inexpensive microfiber towels. Great for in-between uses. It takes off. Look at all that product it just took off the last time I used it. Again, when I'm going on camera, I want my brushes pristine, but if I'm not taking it on camera in between, easy. There are some other spray products that we're going to talk about that I use in my larger cleaning process, but a lot of them you can just kind of spray your brush and wipe it off. We're going to talk more in depth about this cleaning product from MAC and this cleaning product from ESUM, and we're going to talk about them more, but let me just tell you that in between cleanings you can kind of put these on your brush and just kind of wipe them off on a towel, or with this you could spray the towel. This is an ESUM disinfectant. We'll talk about it more in a bit, but you can just kind of spray the towel and then get the brush, and it disinfects it too. We'll talk more about that. Same thing here. This one foams up, so I like to use it during washing, but you can also use it on a dry brush and then wipe it off on a towel and go ahead and use it. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the way I clean my brushes when I really need to clean. In between microfiber towel or microfiber towel with a little bit of some soft, gentle cleanser. But when you're really going to get down to business and cleanse your brushes, the main thing you need to remember is not to get the inside of the ferrule wet. This is critical, especially with natural hair brushes, but frankly with all of them. Inside right in here, and this is why I'm using this really large Sonia G brush as an illustration, inside right here is actually glue, hand done with a natural brush, that will attach the bristles to the rest of the brush. If that gets wet over time, that erodes the glue, and that will create much more fallout. You're bound to have a little bit of fallout on a natural hair brush, but it will create a lot more if you get it wet. So washing it in the way that I am holding it now is actually a no-no, though we use it upright. Do not wash it upright because gravity just gets the water down there, okay? So we're always going to be washing any brush really this way to minimize, some of it's going to happen, but to minimize water that gets in that ferrule and will hurt the longevity of the brush and the glue, basically. Okay, so when I really got to wash, no in between brushing off, but really got to wash, and you saw that group I had to wash, I like to use a cleansing bar. Here's one from BeautyBlender. It's the BeautyBlender Solid. You can get these for $18, or I think there's a mini that was even cheaper. And it comes with a little scrubby scrub pad. I do not think, let's take a pause here and talk about things you don't need. I really don't think you need these hard pads. I really try to not do anything harsh, especially to natural hair brushes. So I leave this on top of my BeautyBlender Solid. It's scrubby, if you can see that. It comes with it. I really don't use it. I don't want to be scrubbing it. It's not, The other thing I don't use, and a lot of people ask me about this, is a switch, like a Verona Switch. I think they're okay with certain synthetic brushes, but I wouldn't even use them on my BK Beauty brushes. I think a Verona Switch is a little bit harsh. Let me go get one and show it to you in case you've never heard of it. Okay, here is a Verona Switch, and what it is essentially is a scratchy kind of, it feels like a Brillo pad. And a lot of people would, don't worry, I won't do it. People are going to go, ah! They would go like this on it, and it kind of deposits, it takes the color off your brush, and then the color can kind of go to the bottom there, and you can clean it. This was really back in the day when there was a lot of synthetic brushes. People would use it. It's really not good for brushes. I'm not saying that the brush police are going to come over and scream at you about how you did that. Please don't worry. But ideally, these kind of things, I don't even like these scritchy rubber pads, to be honest. Do you? I'm not judging you. I'm just saying it's not great for your brush. Okay, so when we're really going to get down to some serious brush laundry, sorry, I was jumping around, serious brush laundry, right? I'm going to use, I like this BeautyBlender Solid. To be honest with you, you can just use your bar soap, as long as it's gentle bar soap, like Dove bar soap, like especially if it's unscented. I mean, it's for your face, so just use a bar soap, any bar soap. I like the BeautyBlender. I pick them up. I think they store nice and easily and all that, but you can use a regular bar soap. All right, so let me just put it onto the screen with a bar soap or with a BeautyBlender Solid or another solid cleanser. I turn the brush upside down. And I put it into the cleanser. I set the little cleanser in the sink. Yes, that runs water on it. And yes, that means it kind of disappears a little faster. But when you do it up on the other side of the sink, not in the basin of the sink, but it just gets stuff everywhere. It's just a mess to clean up. And I just like to rinse it all away. So I go in there nicely and I get all of the makeup off there and out of the brush. Notice I am always holding the brush facing down to reduce the amount of water. It's never perfect, but to reduce the amount of water that gets into the ferrule, like we said, where that glue is. Okay, that is the first one. And like I told you, I do this with both synthetic brushes. I do it with natural hair brushes. It really is the way to wash natural hair, but I figure why not treat my beloved brushes, synthetic brushes like that as well. So you will see me also on this video here cleaning a new BK Beauty brush, which is synthetic and still deserves to be treated nicely, of course. Okay, then we talk about drying the brushes. There are a few different ways to do that, and then I'm going to show you what I do with my MAC and ESUM products. One of them is this amazing thing told to me by Emily. Hello, Emily. Emily is one of my, I wanted to say oldest, but Emily's not old, so earliest subscribers and supporters. Emily's also a member here, and Emily told me about, this is so cool, you guys, like a drying rack that you get. See, it's got a little stand. On Amazon, it's like, I swear it's like $8 on Amazon, and you just put it together, and it has these little things, and you can put the brushes in them to dry. So that kind of holds the brush, even this big brush, like this. And so they dry upside down, and no water, you know, whatever, is getting into the ferrule, okay? It's going down rather than into it, and it's certainly not sitting in there. That is a great way to do it, and this holds so many brushes. I'll make sure I link this below. This holds so many brushes, and if not, let me just show you. I had so many brushes to wash this time that I just did it old school. I took an old towel, pardon my ugly old towel in the video, and I just doubled it up and kind of lean it at an angle, and then I just put all the brushes at an angle so they're still facing down at an angle to dry. And I have so many of them there, you guys, that I had to forego this little guy. But this is really great. It's so inexpensive. It's really great. So I'll have that linked below as well. But this time I just did it old school, and there's nothing wrong with just kind of putting, at a little bit of a slant. You just kind of build up an old towel at a little bit of a slant and just lay them all out, not touching one another. That was a lot of brush laundry that I had to do. I don't usually have that many, but that is a way to do it. And it's also quicker because it does take a moment to feed the brush through this, you know. If you're trying to go fast, like I always am, that can be frustrating, but I just wanted to tell you about that. All right, I want to talk about these liquid products that I have here. First, could you take a moment, please, and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel? I have my eye on 20,000 subscribers. It's very slow. If you are doing this in earnest and not kind of cheating and not, it is very slow. So I would definitely appreciate your help if you ever watch my channel to subscribe. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Okay. One thing I do sometimes use is this MAC cleanser. It's like a pink cleanser. I'll make sure it's linked below. It's a brush cleaner. I think it's about around $20, I guess, depending what size you get. This is one that can be used a little bit on a dry brush. You can put it on a towel and then put it on a dry brush to clean it. But when I have a white brush that I've already washed in the bar soap and I want to get it even a little more pristine, then I will, as you see in the video, add this just a little bit and suds it up just a little bit and give it a second wash right there with this one, especially on my white brushes that I really want to look snowy. It depends how picky you are about getting your white brushes white. Again, I'm using these on camera, so I'd like them to look perfect. This can be used on a dry brush and not washed off. This can be used and not washed off. I use this and wash it off when I'm really doing some serious brush laundry. Let's talk about this ESUM spray. This is the ESUM Gentle Brush Cleaner, and I'll tell you why this came into my life. Some of you who've been with my channel for a while will remember that, oh gosh, months and months back, it was at the beginning of summer, I got an eye infection. It spread to both eyes. It was massively uncomfortable. I got it because I was taking on and off eyeliner so much in videos and using a harsh cleanser, which irritated the eye, which allows bacteria in, and I couldn't get on top of it. I had to throw out every mascara, every eyeliner. I just couldn't figure out where I was infecting myself from. And anyone who's ever had a bad eye infection will know what that's like. And what I purchased at that time was this ESUM Gentle Brush Cleaner. Now this does have some alcohol in it, so this isn't like the best thing for your brushes, but it is gentle. There's two ways to use this. The first is when I'm doing a big brush cleaning, I hold it very far away. I'll show you the video, and I spritz the brushes, and then what you're not seeing in the video is I flip them over and spritz them from kind of far back, because you're not really supposed to directly saturate a brush with this stuff because it does contain alcohol. And the alcohol is what is great on these for professional makeup artists and stuff because it sanitizes. Another way to use this is if you need to sanitize a brush, if you're sharing a brush, if you just want to sanitize it in general, is to spritz this, just like you would with this pink solution, to spritz this onto a microfiber towel and then kind of run the brush through it. And it doesn't get the brush very wet at all. And what that does is it will sanitize the brush, okay? But sometimes from far back, if I'm really doing a big brush laundry, I'll just give it all a spritz from far away, flip it, spritz again, and then maybe it does nothing when they're wet like that, but it feels to me like I'm at least giving it a little layer extra of sanitation. Same with this, it just gets them a little cleaner, but again, you can use this from a towel on dry brushes and not rinse it. Okay, but it does foam up, so I like to rinse it a little bit. And this one, you definitely don't have to rinse, even if you spritz really quickly your wet brushes. Now, I don't share brushes, though, so they are just mine. With that eye infection, I was infecting myself, you know, so that was quite the thing. Now, there are a million other ways to do this. As I said, you can use a bar soap. You can just do it dry. You can use, I know Sephora has some Sephora labeled products that work really well. This is my routine and what I do. Again, I put them in a little cup, and when the cup's full, I wash them. That way, it never gets out of control. These I saved for you guys to show you on video. And also, we just had a lot of brush releases, so I just had a lot of brush laundry to do. But usually, I'm washing about 8 or 9 brushes at a time. I do wash frequently. You only have to do it every few weeks, really. Once every few weeks. Just, you know, just dry, just on a microfiber towel. Pretty much that'll do it. I don't like the Verona Switch. I don't like anything harsh, you know. But let me know what your questions are. 2 things down below. Number 1, let me know your questions, because you probably have some. And number 2, let me know your routine and what you do that works for you. We are definitely a resource here as a community, and a lot of people refer down to the comments, and they will read your suggestions and your thoughts. As long as you're keeping your brushes nice, I've never had any trouble. I have had my Winkos brushes, my Refer brushes, the Sonia G brushes. I've had them since the start of time. So the routine I'm doing has never hurt them. I highly recommend it. But let me know what you do, of course. This is what makes us a community. Give this video a thumbs up, share, like, and make sure that you subscribe. Let me answer any questions you have, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.